Pakistan, and he's right. The question is, can you continue to whack-a-mole in Pakistan or in Afghanistan or in Yemen or in Somalia or other places? Yes, you can.
Well,
but the problem is,
killed, and I'm not sure we have a clear answer from you about how long.
You're not giving me a chance to give you an answer. When are we going to get out of there? I'm telling you right now. If the president's view is we're going to get out starting next summer, yes, you're going to have an awful lot of people on both sides of the aisle, on all sides of the political spectrum, saying, if we're going to lose this thing, better lose it sooner at less cost than lose it now.
Well, what do you want to do?
I would like to see us recognize the nature of the enemy, which I think is defined by the ideological program they follow called Sharia. That's on the Pakistan side of the border. That's on the Afghanistan border. That's all over the place.
So we're fighting Islam.
We are fighting Sharia.
Yeah,
there are
we're
lots
fighting
of people. There's a lot of people. No, we're fighting a lot of people who are calling themselves Muslims, who practice it.
And
we're
how do
not
you beat
fighting.
them?
Ideally, we're not fighting the Muslims.
But how do you
don't.
kill an idea?
I'm suggesting to you that you got to start by understanding that the idea is what's animating the enemy, Chris. And if you don't get that right, you're not going to defeat any of it.
You keep mixing old-time military terms like winning and then recognizing we're up against an idea, which is not something you can win by with tanks or warfare, is it?
It's part of the solution, but you also have to work at the information level. You have to work it at the political warfare level. You have to work it at the economic level. Okay. This is the Reagan strategy. It actually worked against the last terrible totalitarian ideology that wanted to destroy us, communism.
I know, because it failed from within. Let's take a look at the president today.
It was destroyed.
By whom?
By Ronald Reagan and his strategy.
Okay, let's take a look at well, we'll get Congressman Moran respond to that point of history there. Let's take a look at the president today, because I think he is somewhere in the middle. You're right. Let's look at him here. He's somewhere in the middle between the progressives who want out and the hawks who want to stay in permanently, it seems. Let's take a listen.
Rubbish.
Well,
we said we were going to break the Taliban's momentum, and that's what you're doing. You're going on the offense, tired of playing defense, targeting their leaders, pushing them out of their strongholds. Today, we can be proud that there are fewer areas under Taliban control, and more Afghans have a chance to build a more hopeful future. We said a year ago that we're going to build the capacity of the Afghan people, and that's what you're doing.
There's the President of the United States making, I guess, as good a case as he can for his policy. But Congressman Moran, here's the problem. I think Frank Gaffney, although I don't agree with him ideologically, has a very good point here. If we're going to leave in a year, after a lot of American GIs get killed, why don't we leave now?
Well, I actually agree with Frank as well, Chris. That's the problem. See, I don't see us prevailing over any period of time, even if we extend this to 2014. We've lost 1,400 troops. We've spent $345 billion, and we really are not prevailing in this conflict because I don't think we can win militarily. And what he's saying, while it's a morale booster for the troops, and I think in parts of it, it was inspiring, this speech today, it's eerily reminiscent of some of the things that Lyndon Johnson said, but more troubling, some of the things that President Bush said during the Iraq War. Now, you can say that we prevailed in the Iraq War, but I think it's Iran that won the Iraq War, and I'm afraid that Pakistan is going to win this conflict in Afghanistan. Their concern is India.
It's going to be Sharia that's going to win this.
Well, you argue about it.
The problem is if you persist in thinking that we can retreat from all of these places and not have the guys who adhere to this ideology thinking they're winning and they are going to then pursue us here.
I understand, Frank.
Are they going to try to establish Sharia law here in the United States?
They're doing it right now.
They're doing what in the United States?
They're trying to establish it right here.
Who is establishing Sharia law in the United States?
We have a new book, Chris, called Sharia, the Threat to America, produced by
How does our Constitution get trumped by Sharia law?
A whole variety of things, which I'd love to dedicate a program to with you if you'd like. Take, for example, the fact that we as American citizens now own the largest purveyor of Sharia-compliant insurance products in the world. Did you know that? AIG. Did you know that you've got courts in this country that are deferring to Sharia law?
Who?
In family court matters. For example, a state judge up in New Jersey said a woman who was being systematically raped and brutalized by her husband couldn't get an injunction.
And what happened in an appellate court?
In an appellate court, they reversed it, but not before this judge said, hey, it's just his religion. The problem is,
do you think there's anybody in the Supreme Court right now who would think of it? Is there anybody
which is also going on here, as well as the
Has
violent
any high court in the United States ever recognized foreign law?
Absolutely.
Where?
the Supreme Court of the United States.
Where?
Harold Koh, the guy who's the international lawyer at the State Department, says we've got 5, sometimes 4 at least, judges who believe international law, transnational law, as he likes to call it, should be considered on a par with the Constitution of the United States. The 5th is Justice Kennedy, and depends on what side of the bed he gets out of.
The United States Constitution is dominant in all our legal affairs in this country.
Not under Shariah.
Oh.